The Dallas Mavericks and Houston Rockets have agreed to a trade that will send Christian Wood to Dallas in exchange for 4 role players and the 26th pick in next week's draft. The Rockets are moving on from Wood after acquiring him in a big sign-and trade 2 off-seasons ago. They are acquiring multiple role players to give themselves flexibility for this offseason, and they grabbed their 3rd first-round pick in next week's draft. The Mavericks are trying to add a dynamic frontcourt player they hope will mesh instantly with Luka Doncic in a way Kristaps Porzingis never could consistently. What does this deal mean for both parties? Mavericks are lucky in this trade as they are not in any loss. They have added the best player on their roster. Then it is considered the worst deal for the Cavaliers? Let's get deep into this, but before going straight to the content, here is the brand new information on the channel, is that 3 lucky winners will get a chance to win PS5. Only you have to comment your views on this trade in the comments section below. Let's start today's topic. The Houston Rockets dumped Wood before his final season under contract in exchange for essentially the 26th pick in the first round of this draft. That gives the Rockets the 3rd pick, the 17th pick, and the 26th pick. Considering how well Rafael Stone did in last year's draft with a bunch of picks, that has to be quite encouraging for the Rockets and their fans. They expect to get another significant building block next to Jalen Green with Paolo Banchero, looking like the projected number 3 pick in the draft. From there, if they're able to draft quality prospects like they did last year with Alperen Sengun, Usman Garuba, and Josh Christopher, the rebuilding process will continue to chug along at a great pace. The rest of the players they've acquired don't do much for them here. Marjanovic probably isn't going to be long for this team. They could trade him or waive him. Brown is an interesting reacquisition after he spent 2020-21 with the Rockets. He could fit in as another wing option. Burke doesn't move the needle, and Chris is back in Houston after spending a brief stint there in the 2018-19 season. This trade is really about acquiring more draft capital. They've accomplished that. Wood wasn't going to make them much better over this next season, and they free up some major minutes for development with Sengun and Garuba needing more time on the court. Maybe they could have done better for themselves than a late first-round pick, but this is a very solid trade for Stone and the Rockets. Wood is entering the final season of a 3-year, $41 million contract. He revealed to reporters in Houston that he had preliminary talks with the Rockets on an extension, though it isn't known if one side balked or if it simply became clear that he wasn't going to be in the team's long-term plans. From a salary standpoint, Wood is on an expiring deal, and all of the players the Mavericks traded to the Rockets are also on expiring deals. So essentially, both teams were able to make a deal without having to add on any long-term salaries. With the reported addition of Wood, Dallas could start a very formidable starting lineup and have significant depth on their bench. Of course, it remains to be seen if Dallas re-signs versatile combo guard Jalen Brunson, but if they do retain his services, here's a look at potential starters and key players for the Mavericks next season. After a surprising postseason run that saw them make it to the Western Conference Finals, the Mavericks are looking to remain a major player in the West with the acquisition of Wood. The Dallas Mavericks will be Wood's 7th team since debuting in the NBA during the 2015-16 season. But clearly, Mavs executive Nico Harrison respects Wood. Wood is an interesting pickup by the Mavericks. It took him quite a few stops and years to get his footing in the NBA. He's been a little all over the place, and it wasn't until his stint with Detroit 3 seasons ago that he finally started to break through. The Rockets made him a major off-season acquisition in November 2020, and he instantly started putting up stats. Wood put up a pretty efficient 21.0 points per game, 59.1% true shooting, and 9.6 rebounds in 41 games in his first season with the Rockets. But that team bailed on trying to win games early on with James Harden getting moved to Brooklyn. Last season, as the Rockets were attempting to play young and learn on the job, Wood's scoring dropped to 17.9 points per game, but his efficiency, 59.5% true shooting, remained high, and he grabbed 10.1 rebounds per game. Wood is a double-double machine. He can give you 20 points each night, but the real question with him is figuring out if that's coming from a place of winning basketball. The teams he was on were too bad to carry, and asking him to carry a team probably isn't that far. He's not a consistent defender, and his offense is very much about him. We've yet to see whether he can elevate the team with his play over an extended period. Luckily for him in Dallas, he has Doncic to lead the way. The Mavs are absolutely upgrading their frontcourt here. Boban Marjanovic is a fan favorite, but he's not a significant role player. Nobody they're moving here is someone the rotation can't live without. Or even a player the rotation needed in the first place. Wood can score at the rim and in the middle of the floor. And he can knock down the three. He's a career 38% shooter from downtown on over 700 career attempts. Wood immediately becomes Dallas' best big man, but he's not an anchor for the defense. He has to prove he can fit into what the Mavericks do. If he's their most significant big man acquisition, it's easy to see him complementing Dwight Powell or Maxi Kleber. We could also still see the Mavs try to swing for the fences with a trade for someone like Rudy Gobert, but it's not totally necessary. This is a great test for Wood and Dallas. With Wood reportedly on their roster, the Mavericks now have yet another three-point threat that would fit perfectly with coach Jason Kidd's 5-out offensive schemes, which has created space for Doncic to operate and create Luka magic. Defense, however, isn't Wood's strong suit as he isn't powerful enough to bang with centers down low and isn't quick enough to keep up with agile power forwards. Yet Kidd was able to whip Dallas into a top defensive team in his first season, and perhaps being in a more accountable system will force Wood to make strides on the defensive end of the floor. Plus, for the Mavericks, this reported trade helped to clear up room on their roster as they were able to offload non-rotational players and get a talented yet flawed player back in return. Luka can make his life easier, and he gives Doncic a legitimate threat in the two-man game for the defense to respect. But Wood has to prove he fits into the team concept, and that his prior numbers weren't empty calories on a team looking to lose/rebuild. The Mavs need him to prove it too, because he'll be a free agent next summer. Wood has written on Twitter that, "Huge opportunity in Dallas, I'm excited." It remains to be seen how the Mavs plan to use Wood and what other moves they could take in a bid to transform the roster into a championship contender. However, there is no denying that they are on the right track after filling their biggest need at the center. And the Rockets have loosed their talented player to win championships. Whatever new players they add, a quality content player they have given up on, along with this the continued superstar growth of Doncic. The sky's the limit for the Mavs, and Wood has the skill set that can help support the all-star guards game and at the same time keep Dallas in the upper echelon of the Western Conference. Upgrading at the center was one of the Mavs' primary goals entering the offseason in the wake of their run to the Western Conference Finals. So what do you think about Christian Wood's trade to the Dallas Mavericks? Do let us know in the comments section below and get a chance to win a brand new PS5. If you enjoyed watching the video, do like and share, and yes, don't forget to hit that notification bell. Thank you so much.